me. I pulled it. I thought.
What's up, everybody? Quick Fuse here with another episode of Mythic Talks. This is our post Dreamhack live show. We're super excited to be here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. How's everybody doing today?
I am doing okay. How about yourself, C4?
Not bad. Just been working all damn week after DreamHack, trying to rest up and recover. Ben, how are you feeling after the event? It was a long
Better
week.
than I was the last 2 days. Sore throat from the pressure change, I'm assuming, and my voice was gone. So work was fun with
Yeah,
all of those things.
I felt pretty good. That last night that we were there, I didn't get much sleep. I probably barely even got an hour of sleep. Then got on the flight home, got home, was up for another couple hours, took a nap, and woke up at 8, and then fucking couldn't sleep, and then maybe got 45 minutes of sleep before I had to go back into work. So I barely got any sleep. So it was rough. It was rough, but I held through, and it's been a good week so far. And yeah, we're gonna jump into DreamHack. We had quite the experience, so it was very fun. We sent a team out, right, Kelly, and
We sure did.
they
Dude,
played the best they
my
could.
week's been good too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
guys, come
I'm
on.
sorry. We're leaving Beast out of this. Beast. What did you
Fuck you,
do over the
C4.
weekend?
Just kidding.
Obviously.
Oh, man.
Obviously, I watched a lot of Halo over the weekend. I wasn't at the event, but I had to work on Friday, so missed a lot of the open bracket stuff. But definitely stepped aside and took breaks to watch what I could. But yeah, good weekend, good week. Just lots of work. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so our open bracket team, Mel's not here with us tonight, but we got a vlog coming out, and you'll hear a little bit about their experience when we put that video out, probably in the next week or so. Just depends on how long it takes me to get it edited. But yeah, they had a very rough bracket. We started out
100% they
pretty
did.
hot. You Kelly and Ben got to actually watch, so like
Mm-hmm.
you can probably tell us more about it. I wasn't there unfortunately on Friday, but yeah, how
Yeah,
was it?
no, it was definitely an experience having our own team there for the first time, right? Like that was the first time we ever sent somebody to a LAN event, and have a team represent us there. And it was an excellent experience. And from my perspective, being a co-owner of Mythic Gaming, and just a proud moment of like how far we've come. The boys played really good. First series, they 2-0'd the USF Esports. They were playing really good, super on fire. Everything was clicking, vibes were high. They were excited. We got a little bit. The bracket kind of bent us over though.
Spring Kings team or no?
On USF Esports. Let's see. That was USF Soap, Demonstrate, Consider No One, and Combat Kid. So,
Okay.
not entirely sure exactly who that
I have
was.
heard of soap before
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
winners round one, beat them 2-0. Boys were feeling really good about it. Winners round two is kind of where the bracket kind of took a turn for us. Coming in with our fourth player, Titan. He didn't have any HTS points, didn't play in any of the online stuff, that kind of thing, but he's an excellent player, phenomenal brain of the game. And he played extremely well for us considering everything. But we ended up going up against the Ascending Baseline main roster. So that is the Uzi Twins, Suspector, and I believe Hative was on that roster. They're,
that's a pretty good solid
they're
roster.
they're really stacked roster, right? So they beat us 2-0, but the games were close. That we lost the first CTF Fortress match in OT by one cap, 3-2. So and that kind of thing. But before the match started, the boys just came out, were firing, were warmed up, and then it took us about 45 minutes or so to get some audio issues and stuff sorted out. Was it audio? No, it wasn't audio. It was just
No,
a
that was just
visual glitch. It was a visual glitch. Kind of they couldn't see the
service tag.
service tags on the game. So you set your service tags if anybody doesn't know, and that kind of shows up so you can know which player is which and who is who. So when you're playing at a high competitive level, you kind of know where everybody is and who's there, what player it is, kind of maybe know their tendencies a little bit and that kind of stuff. But we couldn't see that. Neither team could. So they spent about 45 minutes to an hour kind of working on that. So it really iced the boys, and then we finally got into the match. And again, the close flag game, and then the Slayer was okay. Like there's a little bit of stuff there, but again, we weren't expecting to be rocking and rolling and kind of just steamroll this team because they're a team that we expected to almost make it out of the open bracket. But we had a good opportunity and the boys played really good. That's all I can say for that one. And then when we go down to the losers bracket, obviously, that is another thing that kind of happened. We ended up playing the 43rd seed in the losers bracket for our losers round 2 match. And unfortunately, it is the Luminon Gaming roster. So they were a roster that just got entered in, and
Zero team, right?
exactly right. So they had Diagram, Juzero, Neuronical, and Envied. And if anybody doesn't know who Envied is, I believe he was Avenue before. So there was 2 of the triplets, and obviously their third brother is Suppressed, who was on Phase. So they're all excellent players, and it's basically a previous pro team down in the open bracket, and we ended up having to play them losers too, and it just didn't go our way. Played really good against them and that kind of stuff, and we just it just sucked the way the bracket worked out. If we would have played them later in the day when the boys started to feel like the land, that kind of stuff, I think it would have been a little better, but it was just basically back to back, really hard matches. But they played really well, obviously. And we're super proud to have them represent us at Dreamhack, and looking forward to having them represent us in the future potentially as well. But we'll see kind of how all that goes. What were your thoughts in the overall open bracket, Ben?
I think for the open bracket, for the most part, you summed it up. It just sucked that we got iced up for 45 minutes to an hour. So
Yeah.
I was mostly, in the times that I was recording, I was mostly focused on recording. So I wasn't really paying attention to the games themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough to kind of watch and kind of see that kind of stuff. But
Damn
lots of
shame.
Yeah, using your phone's not fun.
No, but hey, at least it's gonna hopefully provide for a good little video for the experience for the boys. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have been there, but just couldn't get the day off. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they got to come out. And we'll be looking forward to sending one of them to the next event possibly. Going forward, we'll figure that out. But the event was just dope. I mean, overall, like Dreamhack, that was my first Dreamhack.
it's mine too.
It was excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
was it your
Mine
first?
as well. My
Yeah,
first
wow,
DreamHack.
hell yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
DreamHack
spent
specifically. Yeah.
I spent a little time hanging out
Yeah.
in PD stream, which was
Mhm.
fun, watching a lot of the open bracket teams and what was going on. That was a good time. I think his squad, Passion United, got like losers round 5 or something. It was pretty good. They were getting close, and yeah, that was entertaining. But yeah, I have to say it does suck that our team had to go against a team that has good players that don't have pro points.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
It's like,
we basically played 2 of the best teams.
I
They
mean,
obviously both
neither
didn't make
neither
it.
made it out, but
Yeah, but they were
still,
probably 2 of the
they
like
were on the
8.
cusp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were 2 of the best, probably 8 or 10 teams in the open bracket for sure. Like
Yeah,
honestly, I'm
definitely
surprised
not the
that.
43rd team. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm kind of
what
honestly
you
surprised that either of
expect.
them didn't make it out, to be honest. But
Again, that Luminon Gaming roster got beat out by Mind Freak, right?
yeah,
It's the Australian pro team. So it doesn't surprise me. Um, but they basically ran the lower bracket that way, and then Ascending Baseline got knocked out by the other Luminon roster, Luminon White. Um,
Alpha made it, but
yeah, the Alpha.
Losers didn't, which was a shock. Like
and
there was a
SWAT
lot of upsets and
SWAT
shit.
Latam didn't even come out. They got DQ'd because I guess they couldn't make it for whatever reason.
There was
No,
something I heard. There was something to do with
up
Visa.
by
Visa
weren't they just
Sisters.
picked up by was that not Alpha or no?
No, so there was a
Okay.
SWAT Latam team. Um, that was supposed to be there, but
That's
apparently
third best
the third
Mexico
best.
team.
Yep.
Okay.
So they apparently there's visa issues or something along those lines that they couldn't make it. Unfortunately, one of their players. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing. But the open bracket, it was tons of fun. The passion pit, lots of vibes, lots of shouting. Everybody was getting hype. I know we cheered on some of obviously our players who played for us. They had friends on some of these other rosters. Like we went and cheered them on when they were playing the Luminon Gaming roster. We went and cheered them on to kind of see how they would do against them. And then obviously Luminon White when they played the Ascending Baseline roster, we were right behind them the whole time because Mailmains was actually really good friends with one of their players. And they ended up knocking AB out of the open bracket, which is super awesome and super cool. So we're glad to kind of be there and have some representation for us in the 4v4. And then because our team was out early on the Friday, it gave them the opportunity to play in lots of the side tournaments. And the side tournaments are always a great time. Lots of different things. Like I think on Friday was the Infinite 2v2 and the Halo 5 2v2. We had Titan played with one of his other friends, Thinking 4 in the Infinite 2v2. And then in the Halo 5, we had Titan and Crexy play for Mythic Gaming. And they ended up in the semifinals, actually.
Yeah,
Yep.
I see.
Versus final boss.
I saw Mail and Crexy beat Dark Adedium and EJ. That's a pretty solid duo in the 2v2.
Yep. Sure is.
But then it looks like they lost in their round 2 to Ivanized and is it Lido-y?
Yeah, it's Lido from Dark Inside. They were both on Dark Inside teams, right? So that's half of the Dark Inside roster in the Infinite 2v2. Yeah, so that was Titan and Thinking 4. Yeah, so again, they had back to back. They played really, really well. The final match, what they figured kind of was the downside.
We're looking at the downside of
Yeah,
they played
the
they
semis
played
as well, too.
yeah, they made semifinals and they had to play Ether, right?
Yeah, they played Acid and Drift.
Yeah. Which again, two really good players from Mexico, and they did what they could, and there was some audio issues there. I know they both could hear each other's own gunshots on the same team, right? So again, there was just audio issues galore, and there was nothing they could have done to fix them. They tried to get stuff to fix, that kind of stuff, but it just didn't really work out for them.
Yeah, and then what was it, Saturday, we got in a little early. We got some free-for-all reps in, and then we all three played, so that was fun.
You want to talk about the FFA for it?
Yeah. I ended up winning my first round um, in a decent fashion, and then I'm not sure how Kelly did. I know me and Ben ended up in the second round together. I was basically second, third, pretty much the entire fucking match, and then right, I don't know. There's just I couldn't get any kills, man. Like there was probably a good like minute or two. I just couldn't get nothing going, and then before you know it, Ben gets a triple kill on me somehow. I apparently whiffed a melee. I don't remember, and he gets a kill on me, and then he he beats me out with no practice. I didn't have any practice either, but he hadn't played in months, probably like 4 or 5 months. I don't know how long you have.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months sounds about right. Like outside of like eights and the one time I joined a reg lobby that Karam made, I had no practice. Like at least the last 3 months leading up to the event.
And then you got into round three. How'd your round three go?
He placed fifth.
I placed fifth. I got fifth by deaths. I had less deaths than the other guy I tied with, and I was down 4 kills from fourth. If I would have gotten 4 kills, I would have been fourth. So it was down 3 kills from the person before. In fourth.
Yeah.
Kelly, you made it out of first round, right?
I did. Yeah, I just got round two again. I got some pretty demon lobbies. Obviously,
Yeah, that second lobby was rough. I can't remember who I was in it, but it was pretty stacked.
Yeah, so I had Sarix, Kid Nasty, Nuclear Blaze, Pooch, Respected 117, Demon Killer, and Silva Fox. And then myself, obviously. So there, and then Ben your
We had
guys'
Legal, Zay, Noble, you, Len. I'm not trying to pronounce half these names. I'm not
yeah,
gonna do it.
Ezel, right? And then obviously round
Yeah,
3, like,
You had Lego, Kruvu, and Maddie.
mhm.
Like, that's pretty stacked. I think
yeah,
Maddie
and
got
take like
third. So,
Maddie
Cra-
took third that round, yeah, and then takedown,
I mean,
like I said,
yeah, he
beat me
got
by
third
3
overall.
kills.
I mean, what's crazy is like if I would have had like 2 or 3, maybe 4 kills go my way, like I would have made it out in the third round and maybe potentially got past that round. But because I mean, I
I
got
couldn't find anything in round 3, like
yeah,
about halfway through the game, because I actually held second and third for the most time in round 3, like for 6 minutes of the
Mhm.
round of the match, and then at some point I just stopped being able to find kills.
yeah. That makes
Third
sense. But
parties were just had became very lucrative. Like
Yep.
people would just you'd start fighting and just instantly die from someone running the corner. It was
mm-hmm.
just the strategies from rounds 1 and 2, even against the same players, just weren't. They were working, but like at some point there was just empty space. You'd look over and there's nothing, and run into a fight and get shot in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, the timing just kind of gets off in
That could,
FFA, right?
yeah, yeah. It just
yeah,
was a unfortunate timing issue in round 3 for me.
Yeah.
yeah. And I know that before I get into the next part of that, but I know that looking at the leaderboard, they posted the updated leaderboards for FFA. I'm still like 38th overall. I was 24th before this event. I had like 2,400 points. Now I'm sitting at like 700. There was like I think a 75% point decay
70,
when I
70,
started.
70% point decay for all HCS points, including FFA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm down. I'm 7 points ahead of Goober.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm beating Goober. Let's go. I'm beating the world champ right now.
Yeah, on
That
the
might that won't last long though.
no, on the topic too of the FFA, big shout out to Command Station
Yes.
taking home
Yes,
first place. We couldn't be more proud of her here at Mythic Gaming. It's the first female to win an FFA event. Um,
veteran too, right?
And my new
and a
player won
veteran
too.
as well, right? So congrats to her. Congrats to everybody who placed in the finals. So first place went to Command Station, second Kid Nasty, third was Maddie, fourth was Suspector, fifth was For Atticus, sixth was P7K, seventh was Collective, and then eighth was Natroxin. So yeah, congrats to everybody who was in the finals. Congrats again to Command Station on winning the Halo Infinite FFA.
And if
And
I
just
could,
go ahead, Beast.
I just wanted to interject one more note on that. Command Station won her round in every round besides semis. Like
Shush.
first place in every pool besides semifinals, and then
That's
wins
crazy.
finals.
Yeah.
That's
That's
like
dominant.
even that's really dominant.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. I just wanted to point out because I know there was some people on Reddit trying to be just I don't know.
Redditors,
They're being redditors
redditors.
trying to discredit her win because Goober and Flourishly. I don't know how Flourishly didn't play in it because he was there. I know I saw him at some point, but Goober didn't make it out. I know Switch it up didn't make it out. He's one of the best too, but she beat the fucking champion of Arlington, which was Suspector. So trying to
And
just
second place at Worlds.
trying to discredit her is just a damn shame. And she beat a former champ going into this event and a lot of freaking talented other FFA players, especially like B said, she won every round except for semis. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And I just want to say like you can't discredit somebody based off of like one person not being there. You had stacked lobbies after stacked lobbies after stacked lobbies, but yeah, after that wrapped up, I remember after I got knocked out, they had a it wasn't a Halo or a HCS sanctioned tournament, but DreamHack ran a Halo 2 free for all. So it started at 2. I got there like 17 minutes after. They still let me sign up, which was awesome. I can't remember how many rounds. It was at least 6 to 7 rounds. They had 2 people from each round moving on. I think due to time issues, they kept it at 2 just to make sure that it wasn't going to go on forever. And so I played in that. Um, you know, Playing Infinite FFA and then transitioning Halo 2, it makes Halo 2 like a cakewalk, because it's just so easy to use your gun. And then you have a radar, which is, very useful, great utility. But I won that round by like 3 or 4 kills. I think I had 5 people in that lobby in the first round. That got me into semis. And then I got fourth place in semis. They took top 4 from the semis to make the grand finals lobby, and then I had a decent start in the beginning. I was winning a little bit, tied with a lot of different people, 4 or 5 people at least, and then yeah, just things didn't go my way. I was kind of tired after walking around. I went and got some content as well. I had like an hour, at least an hour and 40 minutes where I wasn't doing anything, waiting on the semifinals to start, and then another hour. No, it was something like an hour and 40. It was crazy. So I went around. I was walking a lot, and by the time I got into grand finals, I was kind of like, let's just get this shit over with, you know. So ended up in seventh overall. Not bad, you know. I'll take it. Pretty decent placing. Not a lot of top players, but decent players though. And then top three got medals, little DreamHack medals. There's a picture somewhere floating around. I don't know if they ever posted on Twitter, but Halo Studios donated some action figures and stuff. So if you check out my tour video on my channel, you'll see that. But I got like a Zealot Elite and a Noble six figure combo. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's about all the competition that we can speak upon until we get into the pro matches. But let's talk about the event, man. Like, what did you guys like about the event? I know there was a lot going on.
There was definitely a lot going on. It was really nice to see Halo having such a big presence. So Halo was at the far one end of the venue. CS:GO was in the main auditorium, which is just outside the Halo door. And then on the other side was where they had Brawl Stars and the CDL, right? So it was really nice to see everybody kind of bouncing back and forth from Halo to CDL everywhere. And when it came down to the grand finals of the HCS, event, the crowd that showed up, all the seats were filled. There was probably a row of like 6 or 7 people kind of deep and all the way around the entire screens and everything, standing room. And it was just a vibe. And lots of stuff going on, lots of different things. There was the free play section. There was the bring your own chair section, which is basically where you just bring your entire gaming setup and you set up your own PC, monitor, that kind of stuff, and you can just sit there and game the entire time. There was the artist alley. They had lots of cool stuff in the artist alley.
Yep.
I'm sure if I lived closer and didn't have 4 hour flight and to kind of get back, I probably would have bought a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah,
um,
it was
to
awesome.
to pick up.
Yeah,
Which if
Love
you
the artist alley.
yeah, I
yeah. I
was
think in the free play section they had like 300 plus PCs. I want to say it was like 3 to 340 or something. I can't. There was a higher number than 300, but it was like crazy amount of PCs. Not even there wasn't even a lot of people at them really. They were a lot of them were just
mhm.
empty seats. So like there was the potential to just go over there and get some games in. I don't know what game you would have played on it, but
Each one had
it
its
was
kind of own section, right? Like, so there was like one with the Halo 2 stuff.
yep.
There was a bunch of that. There was an entire section for the new Rainbow Six,
Yep.
Siege X or whatever. There was like a PC section for that.
They
Um,
even had Smash Brothers on GameCube on one of the stations too.
yeah,
Yeah, it was Switch.
Tournament.
it was Switch.
They can't.
Unless, oh yeah,
Switch.
unless there was a different one somewhere else. The one up
You
front
might be right.
was
Yeah.
the Switch. Like I think it was Ultimate or something.
It's
Whatever
probably
one's on
yeah.
the
You're probably
Switch.
right. It's Switch.
Yeah,
Switch,
It was
Smash
definitely
4 or
Smash.
whatever.
Yeah.
I noticed
Um.
it because there was also that same station at one point had Sparking Zero on it for Dragon Ball. So
Yeah, and then, like you said, the artist alley. Man, they had everything. They had like
my favorite
keychains,
part.
stickers, jewelry. They had like gun props and like weapons and swords, and then tons of posters. And then they had like I think like 40 plus booths for indie devs, like to showcase their
Cards.
games and like to
hmm
come out. Yeah, they had card. They had a couple of different card games that you could check out. I
Card
know one.
games,
I know it
sleeves
was
for your like credit cards and debit cards.
yeah, one of the interesting card games they had. They were showcasing what was it like a Magic type game where you actually both
Oh, the
players
Brawl
drew.
game, that Brawl something. Those,
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
you could draw from both players would draw from the same deck, which was kind of cool. Shout out to them. They're in my tour video. I pretty much covered all that, but yeah, there's tons of stuff to buy. I think I ended up picking up a couple T-shirts. I got this cool like alien xenomorph like skull. Got some stickers and stuff. It was dope. And then
The light up mask.
yeah, I got the light up mask from like a I don't know what game that is. I can't remember. Like it's kind of like an AB like type mascot from
It
some
was more like a
Beyblade.
creepy pasta mask.
Yeah, yeah. And then I bought some optic merch. Got some optic merch. Got a Wally statue, which was really cool. a couple of their T-shirts and a couple free bags. But then they
Yeah,
had a They had a DreamHack in an ESL store. They had like a lot of jerseys on sale for like $10, I think.
yeah, some of their stuff like on clearance in the back section there, and it was like consistently getting refilled with stuff, so they were always bringing out stuff.
Yeah.
And if you did happen to get a jersey or something there, you actually had the opportunity, if you wanted to go pay $20 and get your gamer tag put on the back. They're doing custom jerseys right there, printing right
Yeah,
on
yeah,
site, which is kind of
I,
really cool.
I saw
um
that.
I didn't end up getting to anything from the Dreamhack store, the
Yeah,
main Dreamhack store, but I ended up picking up a pair of sweatpants off the clearance rack just because I needed something that said Dreamhack on it, just to say that I was there and that kind
I
of
ended
stuff.
up finding at one of the there was several different booths with stickers, but I found one that had, and I wanted to get something that had DreamHack, so I found a Master Chief like helmet with a cowboy hat with a D on it. So I bought that sticker for my collection. So that was cool. I didn't. There was a nice little like kind of like fishing like Gilligan Island type looking hat that they had, but I didn't end up picking up because I didn't spend so much money. But yeah, I mean they had, not only did they have like the indie devs, the artist alley, the free play section. They had Lamborghini was out there. They actually had a real Lamborghini with a bunch of simulation.
Yeah, racing simulators.
Yeah, they had a
um
Lamborghini one too. Like it was shaped like a little pod, which was really neat. I got pictures of that. And I think they were giving out free T-shirts at one point, which I missed. I think Crexy
So
ended up
yeah, well,
giving out.
Crexy, they weren't t-shirts, they were sweaters. So they were
Oh.
Lamborghini like zip up sweaters, almost like a quarter zip.
Yeah,
They're navy blue and stuff, and yeah, Crexy ended up getting one of those, and they only had larges available, so it was kind of cool for him to come and see that kind of stuff, which is sweet. And then obviously when Halo stuff wasn't really going on, we actually a few of us went over and watched the Call of Duty event. Um,
I think we
and
watched
that
like
was
5 minutes of that.
the Call of Duty event
Yeah.
is something that I was very impressed with the vibes of the Call of Duty event and how loud it got in there for their teams. Right?
Yeah, I wish I kind of would have watched more of that, but like there was just way too much shit for me to go and look at, so I didn't really get to
Well, not
see.
having Friday to go walk around and do kind of that kind of stuff, it really kind of shortened your time frame, right? Like, so
Yeah,
Ben, myself, and the Halo and our Halo roster, we walked around Friday after they got knocked out and kind of walked around and seen what the event had to kind of to offer,
damn,
and
the
then
Optic got
Yeah.
knocked out on Friday.
Saturday morning, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I just didn't like. I
We
was more of a content focus, like for the weekend, trying to make sure I got enough for the vlog. So I was like really
Mhm.
doing that, and then buying merch. So and then just watching Halo. So Um, but yeah, they had free Red Bull. They had free Monster in the Call of Duty area. You couldn't take them back and forth. You had to drink them there, unfortunately. But me and Ben found a little hack because we bought. I ended up buying the Pesco Pete's little tin mugs they had, where you
tin
could get
mug,
free
steel stainless steel
unlimited.
mug. Yeah.
Yeah, you get free unlimited soda all day once you buy one. They were like $30 for the tin, and then we went. I drank mine, and then we walked over to the Call of Duty section, and we ended up getting a Monster. And I said, you know what? I didn't want to carry two things around, so I just poured the fucking Monster in there. And then what was funny is they didn't check us at first. They checked me. They checked my bag coming in. They checked my bag going out for some reason, even though I'm going out. I don't. I didn't get that part. I guess they just want to make
They
sure I
literally
got the
could
Monster.
see us the whole time that we were in there, so it was
Yeah, I
kind of
mean,
weird that they checked our
I,
bags and we literally were just
I,
walked past them and
we
were
were in there
leaving.
for like 2 minutes tops.
Mhm.
But I poured that Monster in the tin, and they didn't say nothing. They didn't even try to look in there. So I got out with my lemonade Monster, which was fantastic. Love that flavor. It was a hydration. It was pretty good. They had
Yeah,
some
that's
Rehab,
the
other
rehab.
flavor.
Yeah, it's their
Yeah,
monster
rehab.
rehab.
Yeah,
Again,
actually,
which
it's
tastes exactly like the Rockstar hydration, the same flavor. It
well,
tastes the same.
again, so now that we're kind of on the talk of all the free energy drinks and stuff going on, I'm gonna do a shameless plug here, obviously,
ooh,
because I'm super excited to have Mythic Gaming. We are partnering with Glitch Energy now, so the Monster Days are gonna be over. I'm excited to get
yes.
some Glitch Energy, and that kind of stuff. Code Mythic, or exclamation point Glitch to get the website and what our code 20% off anything Glitch. And we're super excited to be partnering with such a wonderful company from what we can kind of see moving forward here, and we're excited to kind of be on board with them.
And they're good. I've bought the blue rampancy. That was Licinity's flavor that she worked with on them, and so I've got a tub actually in there that I bought months ago. I'm gonna start drinking some more of that this week, and then I'm gonna go ahead and buy me another tub and probably several more, I'm sure. But you know, that's awesome. I love Glitch Energy for partnering with us and trying to help us out, and amazing opportunity, honestly. But enough talk of the energy drinks. The So I know I played. They had a little Valorant challenge at the Red Bull booth. I went and played in that. Got absolutely garbaged on. I think I went 3-19.
Was it at the Intel booth?
No, it was at the Red Bull
The
booth.
Red
They
Bull
might have
booth.
had some. Yeah, they might have had
Was
something
it?
going on there, but at the
I
Intel
remember
booth,
there's all that yelling. We walked past on the last day.
they had a lot of activities at the Intel booth, but they had some custom PCs there that you could check out. But yeah, I got garbaged on. I got a free patch. I just did it for the patch that they gave out. Um, they had what was really cool. I want to kind of check out is this racing game, kind of like a Mario Kart type game. It's called Goblin Town. They had like a van there,
Or
like a big
cosplayed as it all, walking around.
yeah. And they had cosplayers. I mean, they had everything there. Goblin Town looked kind of interesting. It was like an obstacle course, like racing game with like I couldn't really define the art, but it was really cool. And then they had a lot of charities there as well. Uh,
It was at
didn't really
college.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, and the college, the esports, Brasso esports, they were talking about. They have college courses there for esports management
Business
type thing.
degree
Yeah,
focused on e-sport
yep,
degree, like college courses.
Hmm.
yeah. And then they had what was it? Brawl Ball, the Brawl Cup. It was like a tablet game I've never seen
Yeah, Brawl
before.
Stars.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
It had a giant stage.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
it
had
was
a gigantic
massive,
stage.
hundred
They had a
percent.
karaoke stage where you could go up
That
there and
was
sing.
that was the main stage. They had different events going on
Karaoke
the entire time.
performance.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then me
lots of cool things.
me and Ben though went and the last day went and checked out the CS:GO Stadium Bowl
Stadium.
way after the event had concluded, and that thing was massive. And apparently it was full to the brim. It had nosebleed sections and everything, so it was kind of
Hmm.
crazy. Wish I could have went and watched the match of that, but
Apparently,
time was a factor. So
and I could confirm it. League of Legends was at DreamHack. No idea where it was.
what?
Not a clue.
You
Yes,
sure?
it
Because I
was
didn't
at.
see it. I
I,
saw
I googled it
StarCraft
and
or
made
whatever.
sure, and it League of Legends was at DreamHack 2025. Where it was in the building or subsequent buildings nearby, not a clue.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
not find any information
and
on where it was, but they were there. And C9 tweeted that they were there.
if you went, and then yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy because this place was massive. It was crazy. I think 1 million square feet is what they said they had, and
Hmm.
even if you went out in the hall and go down the escalator, they had a board game set up. So I know they had the Halo board game. I forgot what it was called. There was a little tournament going on for that. Even if you never had experience, you could jump into that. I didn't get to check it out unfortunately, but there was I don't even know what else there was. There was like it had Dippin' Dots. Other things going on. It was
Maui,
insanely big.
Maui something.
Yeah, the
They had
smoothie
I
place, that
forgot to
kind of
get.
thing.
they had
Yeah,
Chick
I
Fil
forgot to
A
get
in the
stuff from there.
Chick Fil A. It was in the Call of Duty area. They had and Call of Duty had their merch stand and a couple other stands. And then you had Hundred Thieves, Optic, SSG. SSG had a pretty fire booth with a cool game where you like grill hot dogs and had to time it for like 5 seconds with one
Hot
button.
dogs, marshmallows, and
Yeah,
fill up a mason jar
Did
with
you
milk.
win like
I think
scuff controllers on that?
Yeah, so if
yeah,
you got a
yeah,
perfect
Yes.
score, you'd win a
Yeah.
scuff. They said they had
yeah.
about 5 or 6 winners.
Yeah, and then they also. I think probably after they ran out of the scuff, I know they had a sign that said if you got a perfect score, you get like a 3 month supply of oats overnight. Which I got pretty close. I got one perfect score, not like 10,000, but I got like there's 5 rounds, and I think a perfect score in each round was like two
It
thousand.
was 2,000, yeah.
Yes.
And so I hit a couple of those, but I ended up like at 9,600. I think I didn't really play long. I played for like 5 maybe 10 minutes, and then I like kind of dipped. But I'm sure people stayed in line to play and try to win.
I played a few times, and I think my high score was like 99.50 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a pretty hard game, honestly. Like you really had to sit there and kind of like time it out, and I'm sure people stayed in line for a very long time to win those things. But
100%. Well, now let's get into the brass tacks of the
yes,
bracket. Let's
yes,
rock and roll and just quickly do a quick overview of the HCS bracket. Pools, they went kind of as expected from what I remember, what I saw, right?
Minus Optic, maybe
I
Envy was a surprise.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those things. Envy was a little bit of a surprise. They won their pool 3-0. Shopify won theirs 3-0. FaZe Clan won theirs 3-0. None of the open bracket teams made it to the champ bracket this time around, which is typically what happens. But Optic got beat by TSM in pool play. In game 5, it was pretty hype. There was lots of people who were kind of upset. Tolic was popping off that entire time.
Yeah, he was. He was like.
So, but yeah, the games were really close. There was lots of really close matches, and there was lots of hype involved. But when we move into the champ bracket, this is kind of where things get a little bit interesting, right? Again, moving there, winners round 1, you get another grand finals matchup, right? With Shopify versus Optic Gaming, right? That went the distance. Half of the bracket was basically all the top 4 teams: Optic, Shopify, Space Station, and FaZe. They were all in the lower half of the bracket, right? Then the upper half of the bracket was TSM, Nemesis, Envy, and Cloud9, right? One thing that kind of really surprised me is Envy 3-0ing Cloud9, which, again, nobody really kind of thought that was going to be there. TSM, again, won their match 3-2 against Nemesis, 3-2 against Envy in the semifinals, and then they lost in the winners finals 3-0 against FaZe Clan on Sunday. In a very dominant fashion. Like, FaZe Clan came and they played different on Sunday, for sure. But Optic loses again, winners round 1 to Shopify Rebellion in game 5. Gets dropped down to losers round 1 in the losers bracket. And to be honest, I didn't think they were going to make it through this time. I thought the competition was going to be too strong, and they were going to get knocked out at like top 6, maybe top 4 even. That kind of stuff. But we'll kind of move there. Nemesis kind of moved to losers 2, and then they got to losers 3. Nemesis gets beat out by Shopify 3-0. Gen G gets beat out by Nemesis in losers 2. The big series that I think had the most hype behind it was the Optic Gaming for Space Station Gaming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Losers round 2. Optic wins it in game 5, but they were down by what, 10 or 12 kills or something at the beginning of that match.
Then they had a reset
midway.
Then there was a reset, and then they just
I feel like
back.
Optic already had momentum and a camo when that reset happened, which honestly gave Space Station more of a chance. But
I also saw a play from Lucid. I don't know if it was that match, but I think it was. He wasted the hell out of a shock rifle completely.
That was Solitude game 5 Slayer.
Yeah, he was up on S4. Space Station pretty much had map control. I think Optic was coming off. Some of them were coming off
spawns in tram and yard.
And he sat on S4 and just shot shots into the air, and then like ran over to dip. Barely got in the window before he could waste the last few shots. I didn't really understand.
He was just wasting the ammo, so Optic didn't get anything, right?
I get that, but they had map control at that point. I don't know why he wouldn't try to pill a couple of faces.
One shot. And
not when he was S4 though. He was full shields.
Yeah, he wasted an entire clip.
He was one shot when he went in his window.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Did they have the 10 kill lead at that point?
Yes, that was during the 10 kill lead.
I mean, it's understandable. Like, take away a tool of destruction that can pick
100%. Yeah.
Like,
but
it didn't work out.
No, they choked it. They choked the 10 kill lead, and
it felt like they stopped playing. Like the game just halted on their side. They didn't try.
They gave
to,
up way too much map space.
Yeah, and they just couldn't get out of their spawn. And Optic, they're one of the teams that will punish you entirely, right?
I mean,
Solitude is a snowball map too.
But SSG, they had an opportunity with that 10 kill lead to just put the fucking gas on, and they just played like little.
Play for trades.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play for trades at that point. Yeah, exactly. But Beast, I mean, you watched the games from home. You probably got to see a little bit more than us because you didn't have the event to kind of explore. What did you see this weekend?
I felt like, I mean, yeah, that was a standout match. SSG Optic, the TSM NB was a good series. I like them when they're close. There was a lot of blowouts this weekend. Like the Gen G Cloud9 was really close, sending Cloud9 out early, like top 12. That's very disappointing for C9. I liked seeing Nemesis beat Zero ZT. And that's because they're the Battle of the EU region. but that was just a domination by Nem. So sucks for Complexity to face Optic round 1, but same thing happened to TSM at Arlington. It happens. You get the short end of the stick sometimes.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
Optic Complexity was not competitive at all. Optic just ran right through them.
Formal made the comment. He's like, "Were they even shooting back?" Like on the podcast. Like I'm just like, damn. He's like, "What was that, bro?" He's like, "Were they even playing?"
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I think
Brutal.
that's the scary thing now is with that Optic Gaming roster is they have so much confidence. Now, I don't think it's going to take a lot for a team to beat them, right? They're going to have to catch them on an off day, right? But when it comes to Saturday, Sunday Optic, weekend Optic hits different than pool play, right? Formal himself has said, fuck pool play. He's just like, I don't care about pool play. Whatever. It is what it is. It's just kind of a warm up, right?
Yeah.
Somebody asked in his Twitch chat, are you going to win your next pool play? And he's like, probably not. Fuck pool play. He just doesn't carry. He knows that on Saturday, Sunday, they're going to be coming different and that kind of stuff. And it shows, right? The only close match that they played was that Space Station one. They did drop a game against Envy in Losers 3 though, which I was a little bit surprised about to see Envy taking map off of Optic. Kudos to Envy. They played it phenomenal all weekend long, especially being a roster that was kind of just put together before this event, right? Didn't really have too much practice.
And you gotta look at that, that team too. Like, you got Yaxon, on that team, and I don't know if he's ever been in the top 8. I think this is his first time ever being in the top 8, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know about Descendant or Precision either, right?
I think they've been in. I think both of them
I
have
think
been in the top 8
Precision's been
before.
top 8.
Yeah, they've been top 8, but Yaxon, he's been a grinder online, obviously, like, getting
That's
his
top
his
six
shot.
there. Like that's
Yeah, he got top
high
6.
for
Yeah,
most of them, I think, besides
I
Besides
think it's the
Precision,
highest.
right?
I think it's the highest probably Descendants ever got for sure, and definitely Piggy for
Yeah,
sure.
so they played
yeah.
phenomenal. Kudos to them. Huge shout out to them. I talked to Piggy afterwards and I said, I know it wasn't the outcome you guys wanted, but great job this weekend. And he was like super thrilled and that kind of stuff. But then that brings us to kind of Saturday's wrapping up. We're into Sunday now. Sunday, we were really excited for the very first match of the day, right? Optic
Hmm.
versus Up a Fire Rebellion, starting early at 10 a.m. instead of the typical noon on a Sunday. So starting a couple hours earlier to accommodate kind of some extra time in case there was a bracket reset there. And Optic came out and 3-0'd Shopify, which nobody expected. There was like next to no competition. The first Oddball Streets match was close. Both rounds that Optic won went to time. They won that one 2-0, but it was still one of those things that nobody expected. They expected to be a little bit of a fight back from Shopify, and then them winning the Slayer. One thing that Formal said afterwards, like in the podcast and on his stream, he was like, he was excited once they found out what the map pool was because there was no new maps or modes, right? There was no bomb, there was no fortress, and there was no origin, right? So they're like, oh, we got this. Yeah, this is our time. We're gonna come out swinging. So they 3-0 Shopify. Then moving kind of up to the winner side of things for the winners finals, FaZe 3-0's TSM very handedly, right?
Yes.
Like it wasn't even close. There wasn't even a chance for TSM. I don't know what happened. Were they still sleeping or what? But that Strongholds recharge map where TSM got beat 250 to 2, I think.
Ooh.
250
Ooh.
52.
250 to
Ooh.
2.
Were they even shooting back?
That's
Danny got the
rough.
gentleman's goose.
Yeah.
His only kill was a betrayal from Optic.
Didn't he get a breadstick? It was a breadstick, right? He went to Olive Garden.
It was not even a real breadstick, like, because it was off a team name
Yeah.
A
that
team
killed
name
the player.
player. Yeah, it was just like,
The
oh, it was
gentleman's goose.
the gentleman's goose.
Oh
So FaZe Clan
shit.
just walks through TSM, and FaZe Clan was looking different on Sunday. I was like, oh, this grand finals, it's gonna be a FaZe Optic bang out. But as we
Didn't
know,
go that way.
it did not go that way. Obviously, Optic won 3-0 against TSM in the lowers bracket. Nothing too exciting there. It was just it was just an Optic Gaming domination there. And then when it came to the grand finals,
Yeah.
expected a bracket reset. but it was 4-1 for Optic in the grand finals, and then the reset, obviously they 4-0'd them, right? So they went basically 8-1 map count against FaZe in the grand finals, and won this tournament again from losers round one, which it is the third time it's happened now, or fourth time, something like that in HCS. It's third time in HCS history. Um,
2 of them done by this roster.
yeah, for
Well,
sure,
I think
100%.
two and the all 3 times, 2 of the players on all 3 of those teams is fucking bound in legend, which is crazy.
Yeah,
They made history 3 times.
yeah, for sure. Just
But
want to shout out
my
Shades quickly. 50 Shades of
yeah, go ahead.
Simon. Thank you so much for the follow to the Mythic page. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that Sunday was kind of honestly the gameplay was kind of stale. It was kind of lackluster, like far as excitement goes. I don't.
100%. Yeah,
I didn't really enjoy any of the games.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody did, as far as I could tell
I mean,
across
there
the
was some
socials.
clips definitely hit. Like I know
Well,
FaZe
yeah,
like against TSM, they were frying. And
like
the one game FaZe did win in Optic. They were firing on all cylinders, but yeah, there was just
like
no hope.
it's Sunday. You were expecting back and forth for these last few matches, and like we just
100%.
got a blowout, another blowout,
Another
and
blowout.
Yeah,
then grand finals was a blowout with 1 loss. Like
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and again, it was just that's the hardest part when one side of the bracket has all the top teams in it, right? And the other side doesn't. Like, it doesn't allow for that competitive edge, but it was still exciting to see kind of how hype Formal was, how hype Legend was, right? Like, their Legend and Bound are currently on a 5-peat in a row. They've won 6 out of 7 championships, majors, 6 out of 7,
crazy.
right?
Signs of
And
stopping.
they're on a 5-peat, right? And again, like Beast just said, there is
Same.
no signs of stopping for them. So
I mean, these last 2 events were the best chances of a team stopping Optic. Like they've been in losers round 1, and you've let it happen twice. You're not gonna get a better chance. Optic's gonna win their pool later this year, and then are you gonna beat
Eventually, they
them in
will.
2 best of 7s? Fuck no.
It felt like to me that FaZe kind of ran out of steam and they kind of bent over
yeah,
backwards, and then you got Trippy eating Cheez-Its in between games.
yeah, again,
oh
it's
That
well.
was
just
funny.
I
it
like
was.
that's
I think honestly,
it's funny, but who cares?
I think my absolute favorite meme of the weekend was after FaZe beat TSM 250-2, and Royal
Yep.
One, the new coach of FaZe, was standing in the back behind them and basically just put his arms up and was like, "What was that?
What happened?
What happened?"
What's going
Right?
on?
It was like no
Did
pop
we
off,
blind date?
nothing. It was literally just Royal One standing behind the team, being like, "What just happened? Do you know what your trigger is?" That was probably my favorite part of kind of Sunday, anyways. But yeah, lots of good matches all over the place. Big shout out to LVT as well, announcing their pro league. I know they're working on a few different things, working with the pros and what do you think is going to work better with them and that kind of stuff. But huge shout out to have something like that, to have more of this professional competitive Halo coming on all the time. Um, and we're excited to kind of pay attention and watch and see what happens and that kind of stuff. But other than that, really, like, Dreamhack was an absolute vibe. It was fun to hang out with everybody. Big shout out to Freezy, and
Yes.
the post game lobby, um, Twitter page and community. They hosted an after party on Sunday, and it was super vibey. There was beer pong. There was lots of people there. I know Lacinity was there. Servana was there. Freezy, the entire
Several pros.
uh, yeah, a couple
LVT was
pros.
there.
LVT was there. Tony was there, and that kind of stuff. So shout out to them for putting that on, and it was an absolute vibe. I know we stayed fairly late, but we left a little bit early because we all kind of had different flights and that kind of stuff. Um,
Also, I just
So
want to say
Blaze showed up on stream later.
shout out to the Mythic boys. I mean, we had a blast hitting the dive bar. We hit Bocado, ate some great food, and just vibed out. You know,
yeah, that Picado restaurant was absolutely delicious and not what we expected.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly
We
only
walked in
picked it because
underdressed and still enjoyed it.
yeah, like there's a dress code. Like I had like everybody had their hats off, and they all looked at me like the odd man out, and they're like, "Take your hat off," and I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What?" And then
Hmm.
I only picked that restaurant because like everything typically closes around 11 to midnight, and like that one was open till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah, it was definitely something cool. So we roll up in the Uber up to this restaurant expecting to get some good food, that kind of stuff. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
You know what's
Shorts and a
funny?
t-shirt.
You know what's funny? The fucking Uber driver was better dressed than us.
Yeah,
He was
100%. Yeah, he was.
yeah.
Our first sign for this event, Beast, just for some kind of clarification, we pull up to get parked off there. Right behind us is a Lamborghini Huracan, a bright white
Really? I
one.
didn't see that. I didn't
Yeah,
see
it was
that.
right outside
Yeah,
the
it was
thing,
right there,
parked right
in
there,
front of the front door.
right in front of the front door. You couldn't
Oh,
miss
I
it.
believe it. I
Like,
believe
it was one of those things.
Could not miss it.
And we like walk in, everybody's like in their like business casual wear. They all have like nice button-up shirts,
Going out,
perfectly
Sunday
tailored.
clothes.
They're like
They all
dress
look that way
shoes.
too.
Oh yeah, everybody did. They're like, who are these people walking
Kelly
into
and
this place?
Kelly and I walk in with shorts and t-shirt.
Yo, look, Pippin came in with a shorts and t-shirt too afterwards.
Yeah, it
He
was
was
just
like,
funny, right? But again, food was great. It was an excellent vibe. We just kind of enjoyed everything.
definitely recommend Bocado if you're in that neck of the
100%
woods.
Dallas. If you're in Dallas,
Yeah,
Texas, hit up Bocado if you want a nice
make sure
dinner
you go
out.
dressed decently. You know, not shorts.
Not
But
even, just show up, have a good time.
Just show up. They didn't tell us that we couldn't eat there because we
Spartan
weren't dressed
armor,
up nicely.
go.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
exactly, right?
real Spartans should just go there full armor.
Yeah.
yeah, no, for real.
All the
They didn't say
cosplayers.
anything, so
And then
All
we
the cosplayers showed up.
I think the kind of vibiest bar we went to was that little dive bar across from our
Mike's.
B&B.
Everyone wanted the Frenchman.
Yeah, it was Mike's Gemini Twin. That was the name of it. It was like a 30-second walk from our B&B, and that was the dopest thing there. So
30 seconds is generous. It was shorter than that.
Yeah,
it
it was
like
just
10.
yeah, it was a vibe. We had a lot of fun. Everybody and we all stayed together at a B&B, the Mythic Gaming B&B. We all kind of vibed out, went to the event together, hung out, and again, it was really nice to see everybody again, meet some new people, see our friends again.
Yep.
Obviously, I met some other great people like Titan, meeting
Yep.
Huff, meeting Stokes, that kind of stuff. It was just a great time. Um, any other kind of closing comments, Beast, from what you kind of saw online, watching it? How was the production? Was there anything kind of that stood out to you, or was it just like, oh no, it's just a typical Halo event?
Yeah, I think for not having a stage host, it was still pretty good having the couch with the Lottie
Yeah.
interviews and whatnot. HCSLand.com, very good upgrade for Halo events, and I'm glad that we're going to have those going forward. Getting all of the results and brackets in one place.
Yep.
Drops are pretty cool. I like the then one. It's very mythic-y. I've been rocking that coating, and I don't know. I've been kind of frying in it, so gotta keep wearing it.
Hell yeah. I haven't yet to put it on, so I need to try that out.
I have got to put it on as well.
Maybe I'll get a CSR
Yeah, I mean,
boost.
Optics seem to be struggling on Stronghold's live fire. I think they dropped like 2 of them, which is a lot for Optic to be dropping a same map. But
For
then,
sure.
I think they beat a team on Sunday in it, so maybe no worries. But I think they lost to SSG and Shopify on that map by like a good margin. So maybe that's something to look at going forward. See if they improve. TSM running away from Envy to win a game 5.
Oh my
Hilarious.
God, yes, cowering in PD.
The memes were
A
great.
couple more seconds.
They were up 6, and then they started to run away, and then they were up 2, and then they were running away. And it was like they were just dropping. I'm like, you gotta fight back, fight back, fight back. And God, if that sticky grenade blew up, TSM probably wouldn't have made
They needed 2 seconds. It would have. They both players would have been dead, and then it would have been 50-49 the other way. And it came down to seconds, obviously, which is crazy to me. And that would have shaken everything up, right? Because then Envy's coming into a Sunday against FaZe Clan in the upper finals.
That could have gone differently.
Yeah, I don't know. That was wild, but yeah, cool
Definitely
tournament. GG's Optic.
Definitely, one thing you mentioned was the couch with the interviews. I think we need more of that.
100% we do, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was like a highlight from the K-Son event. But I mean, I do miss Blaze, like being the hype guy on the stage. So maybe there's a world where they can both coexist.
I think
It
the
was
only
stuff like
problem
that.
was he does Call of Duty stuff, so he's contracted with them. And of course they probably pay more, so he's probably had to do that. I think.
Yeah, he was over at the Call of Duty
He was
event.
there.
Yeah,
That's
Yep.
he
cool.
was there. Yeah, he came to the after party too. So
He
Yeah.
wasn't a Freezy after party. He was there, I think, after we left.
yeah.
Because I saw he popped up on stream.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, he popped up on stream.
Yeah,
he was
yeah, he
doing
was
some
What
After
was
like
we left, yeah.
he was talking in a
was
mic
Walshy
and
there at all?
interacting
No.
with chat.
Yeah, I saw the.
Was who?
No.
I said was Walshy there at all?
No, he
No,
wasn't.
no, didn't see him.
No.
Yeah,
No.
shout out to Freezy and Forsaken. They always like I've never this is the first time I've
Always
seen
have
them,
the party on
but they
on
had a
the
dope B&B with a turf like
turf
backyard
roof.
turf roof like it was vibey.
Yeah, rooftop patio. Yeah, it was
And
cool.
and then the
Cool.
just to mention real quick the Punch Bowl arcade bar like it had bowling and arcade and basketball and
Mm-hmm.
cool stuff.
Yeah,
I think that wraps it up though.
I think
I have
so.
one thing to mention.
Floor is
I'm
yours.
just want to soft flex getting three-way tie on the Pick'ems and Halo Data Hive.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Halo Pick'ems.
Briefly mentioning that I think me and Ben were tied with like a bunch of other people in the
Like 12
in the
people.
pool play, like 12 people in group play. We had like a 91% accuracy prediction rate. The only thing that went wrong was TSM beating Optic for me. Everything else I had correct. And then when we got into bracket play, that's when everything got fucked. And I think I was still in the top like 20. Ben got tied with two other people for first for the whole thing. So that was crazy. And
62.79% accuracy.
I think I ended up with like somewhere around like a 55% prediction rate at the end of it. But you got what, 60? You said
62.79.
Yeah, that's pretty
Mhm.
damn good, honestly. But
Yeah, it was it was just an absolute vibe all weekend long. We're excited for everybody to thank you everybody for tuning in. Obviously, we will be posting this VOD to our YouTube page as well, so you'll be able to rewatch it, that kind of stuff. Big shout out to Glitch Energy partnering with them. We're super excited. Stay tuned for some Glitch Energy giveaways in the near future. Which
I was gonna say, stay tuned for the vlog too, as well. Once we get that up.
Beast, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah. I just want to say, sign up for the draft tournament on the 14th.
Yes. And and the Mythic League. Don't forget about that on the 16th. We're trying to get that going, and use
No.
code Mythic glitchenergy.com.
No, absolutely. Thank you everybody for tuning in to our second live podcast. We look forward to seeing everybody at the next event, and catch us online at Mythic Gaming 117 on all socials.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.
All right, everybody. Who should we raid out? We gotta raid somebody. Who are we gonna raid?
Melmain's streaming. Hawkeye. I don't know.
Mail's at
Texas-
0. I said we raid mail.
Mail's at 0. We can't
He's
have
playing
that.
Doom.
It says 0 on mine.
He's playing Doom.
He's
right
playing
now.
Doom. Yeah.
Okay. Fulcrum in the chat.
Well,
Fulcrum in the chat. Huge.
That's our other guy on Mythic, or one of our executives. But yeah.
Vicinity. You wanna raid him even though he's playing Doom?
It don't matter. You can raid whoever you want.
Let's
He's playing Doom.
or do you want to raid somebody who's playing Halo?
Let's do somebody's playing Halo.
Let's do that.
We're a Halo podcast right now.
Sarvana, Sin.
Appreciate everybody in the chat stopping by though. While we
Yeah, absolutely.
ended it up.
Let's see if there's somebody new.
We could also do someone that we met in the last Worlds for with MCC, the Spartan Swag 17. We hung out with him a bit at Worlds, if I remember correctly.
Trunks.
Who was that again?
I can't pinpoint. It was someone that we hung out with, I think, one of the side events.
We could raid out Jarrell. He did a phenomenal job with
Yeah,
all the pictures.
Jarrell.
Yeah, let's get Jarrell. Yeah, let's go with Jarrell.
Let's do that.
All right, guys, in the chat.
Make sure
appreciate
you
y'all.
show